My name is Adam Sharpe. I'm a Youth Foresight Specialist with UNICEF in I have the honor and the privilege of getting to work with young people for a living and co-managing, co-leading the Youth Foresight Fellowship program. But this session is not about me. It's about this lady sitting next to me. Please, everyone, put your hands together for our fellow from Ghana this year, Beatrice Wilson. It's surreal being here, right?
It is.
It's better than Zoom. Okay, so we only have 10 minutes, so let's get right to it. Beatrice, a year ago when we first met, I don't think you'd even heard about Foresight before. And now here you are at the world's largest gathering of futurists, meeting these futurists from around the world and being celebrated for your Foresight research. Tell us, how do you feel, and how has this year's journey been?
I think it's been phenomenal. That's the term I would use. I mean, just as you said, I had never heard of Foresight. And so when I saw the application, the first thing I did was to Google, okay, what is Foresight, right? Yes. And coming into the Foresight, receiving training from experts like yourself and the entire team at UNICEF in like we've come so far. I and my fellow fellows, who are brilliant, by the way, and they are in the crowd. So, hi, fellow fellows, I'm representing you. Yes, so I've gone from asking what is Foresight to facilitating workshops using frameworks like the 3 Horizons and asking questions to young people through these workshops to understand their lived realities and what kind of future they would like to see by the year 2040. And so coming into this room, basically, I'm bringing the voices of young people across the globe, not just Ghana, because I'm representing my fellow fellows as well. And yes, it's really phenomenal. The feeling is ecstatic. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely, Samaya, exactly. Just on the subject of 3 Horizons, we are honored to have Bill Sharpe here today, who's one of the co-creators of the 3 Horizons approach to futures, which has really been a key part of the curriculum for fellows this year. So it's an honor to have you, Bill. And we'll have a session on Learnings Day on the 20th, where the fellows will come together with Bill Sharpe, with Teach the Future, to run a sort of 3 Horizons masterclass with a focus on the futures of childhood, it being World Children's Day that day. So you already mentioned a couple of things you've done over the last year. You've contributed to UNICEF's global reports. You've led your own youth foresight workshops in your community. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were together in Nairobi for the Leading Minds conference, where you were facilitating conversations between young people and policymakers, all using the future. What's been the highlight of the journey and why?
I think that there were a lot of profound highlights, but I'll mention a few. So I think the first one I'll mention is the fact that we got the advantage or the platform to actually co-create and co-lead with, people who are in the field of, education, from teachers to ministers of education to investors even. And this is not something you usually get from just any program. So I'll give a big shout out to UNICEF in again. We had intergenerational dialogues, which we were able to bring forth our findings and also represent the young people in our various communities. Aside that, we also went into breakout rooms to actually engage with these experts and then also find out their perspectives, because we are coming in from our perspectives as children and young people. And so we wanted to also collaborate with them. Okay, hey, what do you also think about the upcoming future? And coming together within those workshops also opened new dialogues that we went deeper into, and we got more data to support what we were talking about. So we got the chance to have these people or these experts understand our perspective, while we also got to look into their perspective or their scope of things. Another thing I would really want to highlight was this fishbowl part of the workshops that we had. And it was very different for me, because normally when you go for these conferences, you just sit in the crowd and there's a panel of experts and you just hear them talk and then you get up and you leave. But with the fishbowl, you come in, and everybody gets a chance to speak. You don't just sit there. It's very participatory. And so these are like the major differences that I saw in the leading minds that I want to bring forth. And yes, I think it was a phenomenal experience, and I think this is something that we should continue to support as we build stages for young people to speak up and to bring their realities forth and to also communicate how they envision their futures to look like. We need to do it together with them. And I think that is the best way we can help young people to actually achieve or live in the future that they perceive or want to be in. Thank you.
I think we'd all like to know, this question was not prepared, I'm asking, because I think everyone would like to know this. You worked with young people in Ghana. You were exploring preferred futures of education, and you were looking specifically about artificial intelligence as a driver of change. Just give us in a minute, a sneak peek. What were young people in Ghana saying they wanted for their futures, what they wanted for education?
Okay. So first and foremost, young people wanted a future where they are centered. When it comes to the education system, they ask for a future where they have the opportunity to have better pedagogy or better teacher-learner relationships. So there was this new thing that popped up in my research where young people felt more connected to large language models like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and the rest. And someone even highlighted that they feel more comfortable asking ChatGPT for help as compared to their teacher, because to ask a teacher a question and teacher to give you a response like, ask better questions, it kind of, it kind of makes them feel like, no, then I shouldn't even be raising my hand at all. So coming in with that perspective, they wanted to have better teacher-learner collaborations and then also have AI accepted in the classroom. One major thing that I highlighted in there was AI to human collaboration, where we have young people seated around circles, just like you're seated, and everyone takes on a role. So within the community, someone is, let's say, a community leader, like a chief. Another person is like a doctor. Another person is like a tech enthusiast. Another person is like a teacher. And all of us come together to identify a certain problem in the community. And we bring in our perspectives and our ideas while collaborating with AI. And we have our teachers in there as facilitators to guide us. So that is something that young people wanted to experience. Another thing was also teacher training, because one thing that emerged was the fact that currently if you use AI, even if you collaborated with it, you're going to be downgraded, or you're going to mark with a very low score. And they wondered why it is so, because that means that teachers are pushing back on it when young people feel like it's an extension of how they will learn, and also how it will like personalize their learning experiences. But teachers do not see it that way. They are really scared about young people losing their intelligence when it comes to cognitive abilities, reflective skills, and then critical thinking skills and creativity. And so this was a big question mark. And another recommendation I suggested was that both teachers and then students be trained on how to effectively use AI, so that when it comes to the collaborative aspect of it, they both understand how to better leverage it. I also highlighted safeguarding, and that was one thing that young people brought up as well. So we know that with AI, sometimes there are biases and hallucinations. And then misinformation as well. So we need young people to understand and be trained on how to identify these misinformation or biases that they may come across, so that when they are putting forth academic work, when they are collaborating with AI, even outside of school, they are able to better understand how to communicate with it. And they also not just fully trust everything that they see, but they're able to question it and think outside of just the answers that AI generates.
Fantastic. So if this is your area of research, maybe come and speak to Beatrice, who is working with young people in Ghana and building an advocacy plan, trying to build AI literacy and really move things forward. So it's about using the future to change the present. All of our fellows have different research areas and focus, and being here is just a tremendous opportunity to network, to collaborate, to learn. Last question, I think we have the time, but if we don't, please tell me. this year, who was at the forum last year? Just put your hands up if you were there. Okay, all right. So last year on the first floor, UNICEF had an exhibit on the futures of childhood. And this year we're back with a new exhibit on the first floor where you get to meet children of the future that have been co-created by these fellows, informed by the research they've done all year on the futures of education. Please come and see us. And we use this future child persona methodology, which we're launching this year in collaboration with the Dubai Future Foundation. And Beatrice used that methodology to create Kwabena, a young Ghanaian boy living in 2040 in the preferred futures of education. I just want to know, before we close this panel out, what was it like using the methodology but creating a child from the future based on your research? What was that like?
So first and foremost, it felt like bringing someone who is not existent to life. Yes, because it's like you are taking all the insights you gathered from your research and using it to inform and create a child that would live in that future that young people want to see. And that was really exciting for me. I really enjoyed the process. So shout out to Tomorrow in Focus. I'll talk a bit about Kwabena. So Kwabena is, to begin with, Kwabena represents Tuesday in Ghanaian language. So if you're born on a Tuesday, you're called Kwabena. We have names that we give for every day, so you can see me if you want to find out yours. Yes, he's very curious, very witty, and he questions the systems around him. He doesn't take things as face value. He wants to know why things are how they are. Kwabena is a child who is 14 years old, but he speaks up. And that's something that is not very common from where I come from. So young people are usually told to just listen to the elderly. So this is something I really wanted to highlight, a future where young people actually do speak up. Aside that, when it comes to learning, so Kwabena has access to a school that feels like a lab all the time, but not just for science, so a lab for ideas and reimagining how things can be. When he meets his classmates, they collaborate to find solutions to pressing challenges in their communities. And when they prompt the AI, they don't just take the feedback that it has been given, because I think right now that's what we all do. When ChatGPT gives you the data, you just copy, you paste, you're gone. But Kwabena doesn't do that. He questions further. He communicates with his teacher to find out, okay, is this feedback what I really need? He asks questions like, is this the answer to the question I asked? Is this really the answer I'm looking for? Or is this really my answer? Because whenever he collaborates with it, he wants his person to also be in the work that he's to present, or his humanity to also reflect in the work that he's to present. So it's not just about just taking data verbatim and then putting it in there. Aside that, there's a lot of collaboration going on because he works collaboratively with his colleagues or his classmates, and they don't just learn in the classroom, they go outside as well to explore and gain hands-on experiences. So I'm really looking forward to you meeting Kwabena in level 1, and come to me or any of the other fellows if you have questions. Thank you.
Please give it up for Beatrice Wilson. Our session is over. Come to the first floor, meet the children of the future created by these fellows. Download the Future Child Persona Playbook so you too can think about childhood, think about children when you're creating alternative futures. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Beatrice.